Hey everybody, this is GGB coming at you for college basketball upset of the day Friday edition. I'm in a pickle, guys. I'm in a legitimate pickle. My upset didn't hit yesterday, and I can't even go back on the fact that there was no upset there yesterday. There was an upset yesterday. Michigan upset Purdue, and we're going to go over that in a little bit. But now I'm entering 1 point heading into Friday. If they don't win here, I'm in a bad spot, guys. I'm in a really bad spot. I have to hit the last 3 games to hit the 4 points, which really kind of hurts because I'd love to not have to do that, but here we are. We're going to over the one game we have today that's a ranked matchup, but we did have an upset yesterday. Purdue was upset by Michigan, and that caused Michigan to hop Indiana, or at least stay ahead of Indiana. I don't know. I think because if they had lost, it would have been a different story, and they would have fallen below Indiana. But I think Michigan now sits only one game in the win column back behind Rutgers, only one game in the loss column behind Ohio State. Like, this is a Michigan team that is hitting its stride at the right time, is tied for the second longest active winning streak in the Big Ten, although it's not hard. The longest active winning streak is 3, and they have 2. And a lot of teams have 2. Wisconsin has won 2 straight, Rutgers have won 2 straight, and Iowa have all won 2 straight. But it's an interesting thing because Michigan's starting to hit their stride. We all knew Michigan had the talent at the beginning of the year, and you're starting to look at the Big Ten, and you're thinking you could end up with a lot of teams in the tournament. Obviously, Wisconsin, Illinois, Purdue, Michigan State, and Ohio State are all tournament-bound teams. But Rutgers and Michigan were both question marks heading into this month of February, and Rutgers and Michigan have both gotten 2 quality wins under their belt. Actually, Michigan's first one wasn't all that quality against Penn State, but you're looking at Rutgers and Michigan. Rutgers sits at 14-9. Michigan sits at 13-9. Rutgers has a win over 2 ranked teams now. You're looking at Indiana. They obviously have a win against Purdue, big win. They're 16-7. And Iowa, despite being only 6-6 in conference, is a 16-7 basketball team. And you're looking at it, and maybe. It's possible, like, if Northwestern, Penn State, Maryland, Minnesota, or Nebraska all go on a run, like, at the end of the year, you could end up seeing, like, there's a possibility you get 9. Maybe even 10. I think there's a possibility you get 10 tournament teams from the Big Ten. I don't think it's likely, because I do think Northwestern, Penn State, Maryland, Minnesota, or Nebraska would actually have to win the Big Ten to actually get a spot. The Big Ten is a conference that has a lot of good basketball teams, but Purdue lost. That was a huge victory for Wisconsin and Illinois because now Wisconsin and Illinois are tied for first place. If you're wondering, Wisconsin does have the tiebreaker thanks to a better overall record. So if the season were to end today, the top 4 seeds would be Wisconsin at 1, Illinois at 2, Purdue at 3, and Michigan State at 4. So this is an interesting Big Ten to watch down the stretch. I think it's going to be a race between those 4 teams, but I wouldn't count Ohio State out just yet. But then we have the Big East. The Big East is the conference that we have playing today. At 6 o'clock, we have number 24, UConn, which is at 16-6, traveling at number 25, Xavier, which is at 16-7. Xavier actually favorable at 1 point on FS1. And so this is an interesting one here, guys, because if I had to pick a team for an upset, this is the perfect one. They're favorites, although it's only by 1 point. And if they win, by the way, that's 5 straight days with an upset, which is pretty dang impressive. We haven't had that kind of streak in a while. We had a 12-day we had a 6-day streak at 1 point. But 5 days straight is pretty amazing. And we can get that if Xavier can pull it off. If Xavier or Seton Hall wins, one of them will pass Creighton. 7-6 record is, I looked it up, 2 percentage points better than a 6-5 record for Creighton, right? So you would get to 5th place with a win here if you're Xavier. If Xavier wins, then they pass Creighton. I'm sorry, I forgot that Seton Hall's not playing. It's UConn. So if Xavier wins, they pass Creighton. Xavier with a loss falls to 6-7, and that would be good for Seton Hall. Seton Hall would rise to 6th place in the Big East all by themselves instead of being tied for 6th place right now with Xavier. And St. John's would also love a Xavier loss because they would fall to 6-7. St. John's would be only 1 game back on the win column from tying Xavier, which would be a pretty amazing feat for St. John's, considering they're only 13-10 overall, and Xavier's 16-7 right now. This is a likely tournament team, and St. John's is a likely not tournament team unless they go on a run in the Big East tournament. But this would be a pretty huge game to watch if you're Seton Hall or St. John's fan, or even a Creighton fan. You got to be a little bit worried if you're a Creighton fan. All 3 would love a UConn win. Now, team that would not love a UConn win and would love a Xavier win would be this Marquette team, right? Because Marquette, if UConn loses, right, Marquette would go back into third place in the Big East. UConn would fall to 7-5, and Creighton would only actually be a game in the loss column back. I mean, a game in the win column, I guess, back. They would be at 7-5. Creighton would be at 6-5. So again, suddenly, if Xavier wins, it is a suddenly really close battle for fourth place with UConn, Creighton, and Xavier all very close to each other. UConn with a win moves to 8-4. It's still not going to be even close to passing Villanova. Really, UConn, you're only playing. I don't think you can get the 2 spot. I think the 1 and the 2. If I had to bet, that those aren't going to change. I bet Providence is 1, and I bet Villanova is 2, heading into the Big East tournament. UConn's really struggling right now to keep third place away from a Marquette team that is very closely coming, very close. So obviously, I have only one game to pick. This is going to be a very short episode because then there wasn't a lot to go over yesterday, and there's just not a lot to go over today since there's only one game. I have to pick it. So everybody, this is GGB saying adios amigos, and please, God, let the Musketeers win this one.